The gentle, predictable summers of the past are fading into memory. For generations, Europeans have cherished the warmth and light of these months, times defined by long evenings, laughter in city squares, and the comforting rhythm of nature's cycles. But the world is changing, and so too is the season that once seemed so familiar. As we approach the summer of 2026, Europe faces a new reality, one marked by intensity and unpredictability. The weather no longer follows the patterns we once relied on. Instead, each day brings the possibility of extremes, challenging our expectations and our way of life. The continent's climate is shifting, with extremes becoming the norm. From the Atlantic coast to the Mediterranean, the signs are everywhere. Longer heat waves, sudden storms, and a sense of uncertainty that lingers in the air. What was once an exceptional heat wave is now a regular event, and the coming summer is set to continue this trend. Cities that once prided themselves on their mild climates now brace for record-breaking temperatures as residents adapt to a new normal. The balance that once governed Europe's climate is being disrupted, leading to wild swings between scorching heat and sudden downpours. Farmers watch their fields with growing anxiety, never sure if the next week will bring drought or flood. Southern Europe braces for relentless heat, drought and wildfires as landscapes once lush and green turn brittle and brown. Communities prepare for the challenges of water scarcity and the ever-present threat of fire, while the north faces intense rainfall and flooding. Rivers overflow, streets become waterways, and the infrastructure of old cities is put to the test by forces it was never designed to withstand. Central Europe stands at the crossroads, caught between these extremes and frequent, powerful storms. Here, the weather can shift in an instant, leaving communities scrambling to respond. This transformation is not abstract. It will shape lives, test infrastructure, and impact health. From the daily routines of commuters to the vital work of emergency responders and healthcare workers, everyone will feel the effects of this new climate reality. The reliable summers that nurtured European civilizations are giving way to a season of greater consequence. The echoes of history remind us of resilience, but also of the need to adapt and innovate in the face of change. Understanding this new chapter is the first step toward navigating it wisely. As we look ahead, knowledge and preparation will be our greatest allies in meeting the challenges of the new European summer. Europe's changing summers are part of a global story, one driven by rising greenhouse gases and a steadily warming planet. The effects of climate change are no longer distant or abstract. They are unfolding right now in the streets and countryside of Europe. From bustling city squares to quiet, rural villages, people are feeling the heat in ways that were once unimaginable. The science is clear. As we continue to emit carbon dioxide and other greenhouse gases, the Earth's atmosphere traps more heat, pushing global temperatures higher year after year. This warming raises the baseline for every summer, making intense heat waves far more likely. Natural cycles like El Niño now play out in a world that's already hotter, amplifying extremes. What used to be rare, record-breaking events are now becoming the new normal. Cities across Europe are experiencing unprecedented stretches of scorching days, while rural areas struggle with parched fields and dwindling water supplies. The combination of human-driven warming and natural variability is creating a climate that is both unpredictable and unforgiving. The Arctic is warming at twice the global rate, melting ice, and disrupting the jet stream. A weaker jet stream means weather patterns can stall, causing prolonged heat waves or unending rain. These changes in the far north have ripple effects that reach deep into Europe, altering the very patterns that once brought balance to the seasons. The loss of Arctic ice not only raises sea levels but also shifts the dynamics of the atmosphere, making extreme weather more frequent and severe. The result: more powerful, erratic weather across Europe. Warmer seas and moister air further destabilize the climate. Storms grow stronger, rainfall becomes more intense, and the risk of flooding rises. Coastal communities brace for higher tides and rougher seas. while inland regions face the threat of sudden downpours and flash floods. The atmosphere, now supercharged with energy, delivers weather that is both more dramatic and more dangerous. Droughts, wildfires, and deluges are all symptoms of this single overarching issue. The land dries out, forests ignite, and then, sometimes in the same season, torrential rains bring chaos and destruction. Emergency crews are stretched thin, responding to disasters that are growing in both frequency and intensity. Communities are forced to adapt, finding new ways to cope with a climate that no longer follows familiar patterns. The summer of 2026 is not an outlier, but a direct result of these forces. Our climate's new volatility is the reality we must now face. As Europe grapples with these changes, the choices we make today will shape the summers of tomorrow. The challenge is immense, but understanding the science and the stakes is the first step toward building a more resilient future. June 2026 will split Europe in two, drawing a dramatic line across the continent that few will forget. As the month begins, meteorologists are already tracking a powerful high-pressure system building over the Mediterranean, while a stubborn low-pressure zone lingers over the north. These opposing forces will shape the lives and landscapes of millions. Southern Europe, from Spain to the Balkans, will see an early intense heat surge, drying out landscapes and raising wildfire risks. Fields that should be green will turn brown weeks ahead of schedule, and rivers will shrink under the relentless sun. Farmers and local communities will brace for water shortages, while emergency services prepare for the threat of wildfires that could ignite at any moment. Meanwhile, Northern and Western Europe, like the UK and Scandinavia, will face cooler, wetter conditions with persistent rain and local flooding. Streets in London and Oslo will glisten with rainwater, and rivers may swell beyond their banks. For many, summer will feel more like an extended spring, with umbrellas and raincoats becoming daily essentials. Central Europe, including France and Germany, will experience a volatile mix, sunny spells interrupted by powerful thunderstorms and flash floods. One moment, the sky will be clear and bright; the next, dark clouds will unleash torrential rain and lightning. Residents will need to stay alert, as weather can shift rapidly, bringing both relief and danger. This sharp north-south divide sets the stage for a summer of extremes. The contrast will be visible from space: parched earth in the south, lush green in the north. It's a striking reminder of how weather can both unite and separate us, shaping everything from agriculture to daily routines. Early southern heat primes the land for July's intensification, while northern moisture offers some resilience. Crops in the north may thrive, while those in the south struggle to survive. The coming weeks will test the adaptability of both people and nature, as each region faces its own unique challenges. June will remind us how interconnected yet diverse Europe's climate truly is. From sun-baked villages in Spain to rain-soaked cities in Scandinavia, the continent's weather patterns are a tapestry of extremes woven together by the forces of nature. It's the opening act of a season defined by contrast, a preview of the challenges and surprises that summer 2026 will bring to every corner of Europe. July will bring the summer's fiercest heat as a massive heat dome settles over much of Europe. This high-pressure system traps hot air, driving temperatures above 40 degrees Celsius in southern and central Europe. Nights offer little relief, straining health and infrastructure. Prolonged heat will dry rivers, shrink reservoirs, and turn forests into tinderboxes, priming the land for wildfires. Even northern Europe will feel the heat, with rare intense warm spells. Cities and healthcare systems will be pushed to their limits. The relentless sun, blocked rain, and parched landscapes will define July. It's a month where the true power of a changing climate is on full display. August 2026 will be a month of dramatic contrasts. The land and sea, superheated from July, will fuel explosive storms as cooler air returns. Drought-stricken regions may see sudden, intense downpours, too fast for the parched ground to absorb, triggering flash floods. The Mediterranean's warm waters could spawn metacanes, bringing hurricane-like winds and rain to coastal areas. Wildfire risk remains high, with lightning from storms sparking new blazes. August teeters between fire and flood, a vivid illustration of Europe's new climate volatility. The continent will be on a knife's edge, caught between lingering heat and sudden storms. The extreme summer will reshape daily life across Europe. Tourism faces disruption as heat and wildfires threaten traditional destinations, shifting travel patterns northward. Agriculture is at risk, drought and heat in the south, floods in the north, threatening food supplies and raising prices. Public health will be tested by heat waves, with hospitals bracing for surges in admissions. The psychological toll of constant threat, fire, flood, or oppressive heat will weigh on communities. Cities and infrastructure, built for milder climates, will be pushed to their limits by soaring energy demand and water shortages. Hydropower and nuclear plants may struggle as water supplies dwindle. The need to adapt our lives and environments has never been clearer. In this era of extremes, preparedness is key. During heat waves, stay hydrated, avoid midday exertion and seek cool spaces. Check on vulnerable neighbors, the elderly, those living alone, or with health issues. Community support is vital for resilience. For wildfires and floods, have an emergency plan. Know evacuation routes, prepare a kit, and clear flammable materials. Stay informed with weather alerts and official warnings. Understanding the risks and acting early can save lives. Knowledge and preparation are our best defenses in a volatile climate. Long-term resilience requires collective action. Cities can cool themselves with more trees, parks, and green roofs, making urban life healthier and more sustainable. Early warning systems and public education must reach everyone, especially the vulnerable. Water management is crucial, capturing rain, recycling, and conserving in homes and industries. Climate adaptation is a shared responsibility, crossing borders and demanding cooperation. Europe must unite, sharing resources, best practices, and innovation. The summer of 2026 is a call to action for a safer, more sustainable future. Together, we can build a continent ready for tomorrow's climate. Europe's summer of 2026 may seem daunting, but it's also a chance to show our ingenuity and resilience. The future isn't set. We can shape it through adaptation and cooperation. Change begins at home, checking on neighbors, clearing brush, planting trees. Small acts, multiplied across millions, create powerful change and strengthen communities. Innovation is key. Renewable energy, drought-resistant crops, and climate-resilient cities are within reach. By embracing this challenge, we can build a legacy of solutions and hope. The Earth is changing, and so must we. With courage and shared purpose, we can meet the moment and thrive. Let's write a new story, one of thoughtful, hopeful adaptation for generations to come.